Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. Arsenal smash Sheffield 5 with Nketiah. Super hat-trick, superhero, or only a hat-trick. It's only 3 goals though. Chelsea back to reality check. Chelsea back to being atrocious, to dark days at home, losing 2-0, even though they created tons of chances. But this is what we're going to talk about today. I got plenty of guests, as you can see. They blessed me with their appearance, of course. And the first one, of course, I'm going to just Casually FC Winter Surfer is here with me. Welcome to the channel. I'm sorry, I had to invite you this day, I'm sorry.
That's all right. You can hear me, yeah?
No, I'm not. Yeah, but you're still lagging a little bit in your sound for some reason. Okay. I don't know what it is. Let me get the other guys in. But people, hit that like button if you just joined. Welcome to the stream. The second one is someone that you got accustomed to here on the channel. It's the one that is the realist. As he calls himself that. It's the True Gunner TV, of course. It's Brandon. Welcome to the channel. Congratulations.
Thank you for having us back, Mo. As per, this time, I'm going to be happy. Arsenal won 5-0, bro. And my man at the top there, he's going to be getting shit on from all angles. So it is what it is, isn't it?
His debut on the channel, did a lot of work with him. Love his opinions a little bit. Listen, he's calm, but he's a very opinionated person. Doesn't let anything go. You've seen him before on Never a Foul, but it's the first time you're going to see him here. It's the wrong and strong armchair gaffer guy. Jess is here with us. Welcome to the channel. I'm so happy that this is your debut, bro.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Well,
no, yeah. I'm joking. It's a pleasure to be here. I've actually been waiting for the call up for a very long time, and I'm just happy to be here. More than you believe.
I was just waiting for you to do the Eddie celebration, you know.
Never. I'm not a fan of Eddie, but you guys, in time, you get to know.
One left, a member. We talked before. We text all the time. He's waiting to challenge. Well, you know him from the chat, gifting memberships to people, supporter of me, myself, and my channel, of course. Like someone you never expect. It's Martin is here, of course, with Eddie Nketiah.
Call me, baby.
Yeah, people, hit that like button. We just started and we have 70 people here. I'm expecting 50 likes right off the bat. Just 50 likes. I'm not accepting less. The like button is simple. It's easy. Get involved with or without super chats. Super chats, of course, support the channel. And there's only one place to start. And it's not Arsenal. It's Chelsea Football Club. Listen, I got my notes and I actually almost fell asleep because I was so sure Chelsea would win. I don't know who watched the game. Everybody watched the game first? I did watch the game. I was so sure Chelsea will win. Like, I had no doubt in me that Chelsea will win. The amount of chances they created the first half. But somehow they just lost. Somehow Chelsea find a way to lose games. Even when they're dominant, creating chances. Listen, I don't know what to tell you, Winter Surfer, other than I'm sorry you're a Chelsea fan at this time.
Oh, man. I'm all out of tears. It's just got to laugh right now. No, this is... I wanted to see what the reaction was from the Arsenal game and whether it was just they were up for the Arsenal game or not. First half, we played well-ish. We couldn't finish. That's been our issue for 5 years, 6 years. Yeah, and then second half we just passed it sideways. That's all we did. Didn't really create much. We had that. It was like, I think, a Cole Palmer miss hit, and then they back post. No one was marking, and then they hit us for the second goal when everyone was up trying to get an equaliser. Madueke started today, didn't play well. We started Disassi at right back, which didn't make any sense because he had Gusto and Reece James on the bench. So that didn't make any sense. No one's asking why. I know why Reece James didn't start, but I want to know why Gusto didn't start. But yeah, we just didn't have that. And we had no end zone midfield. Gallagher dropped back and showed what he's a player he actually is. In that position, he's not a very good player. And then we got Nicholas Jackson up front, who shouldn't be leading this team. He should be coming on from the bench. But that's on us for not recruiting a proper striker for like 5 years.
That's not your fault. You really had money to spend on a striker, otherwise surely you would have. It's not like you guys have spent, I don't know, like £1 billion. You guys have had
no. That's what I'm saying. That's on us. That's on us for not buying a striker. That's on us for not buying a striker. It's on us for doing that. So I'm not saying that's our fault for not buying a striker. And you're seeing right now what the issues are. A decent striker with half those chances. We probably go in 2-0 up at half time.
But imagine,
but the chances didn't fall to Jackson though.
That's the problem. That is the problem. That's the problem. When my left back is getting in a better position than any of my forward line, then I've got a problem, right? When my left back has a better chance than any of my forward line, that's a problem. Yeah. So that's an issue in itself. When the defenders are doing better in attacking phases than actual strikers or wingers. And just like it has done previously, any adversity, heads drop from every single player. And from the manager as well. I will say this, I didn't think he had much on his bench to really do anything. If anyone disagrees with me. But
forget the bench, Andrew, I'm sorry. The lineup was atrocious, bro.
The lineup was good.
Why is Sterling playing left? Why is Sterling playing left? He's been playing well on the right. Why, like he's playing? Okay, why is Palmer at the 10? He was playing well as a false nine or coming from the right. Why would you change the midfield? Why is this Sassy right back? Like, why?
I don't know. No one's asked him that question. No one. I think he might have thought. To be honest. I think he might have thought, we'll get a bit more height, but that didn't work because they scored at the back post. So the height thing's a load of nonsense. The right back, like you're saying, why isn't Sterling? Why are you changing? Why not stick with the team that started against Arsenal? See how it does.
It's very strange.
And then make changes.
No one is injured.
It's simple. Okay,
that wouldn't have worked.
What do you mean that wouldn't have worked?
That wouldn't have worked because the only reason it worked against Arsenal is because they sacrificed having a striker to dominate the midfield. They played with a 4-man midfield to stop us from playing through the middle. And you need to take the game to Brentford, right? So I said this before when I was last on Never a Foul that Jackson was reminding me of Sonogo, and that was like at the start of the season, and it's all come true, and it's not the first time. This is absolute deja vu with Chelsea. They've spent £1 billion and they've got exactly the same problems as they had under Tuchel. £1 billion as they had under Tuchel and Potter and everyone else.
Thank you, Jeff.
They play great football. They can't put the ball in the net. It's just.
I was gonna say as well, but we can't really blame them. Like we said, like they haven't had money to spend, and it's not as if they had a striker on their books and loaned him out. Do you know what I mean? Like if they had, like let's say, like
Lukaku's got 14 goals in 13 games or something for Roma.
Oh no,
what are we doing here?
You can't. Listen. The fault is the Lukaku thing was never going to happen. Okay, that was already decided. The problem was you didn't recruit another striker with Jackson. Jackson should not be leading this lineup.
Broya.
Baby Drogba, that's what I heard.
Mo, shut up about Broya, yeah.
What? I'm serious. Broya's not a bad player.
Broya's not fit. He's injured again. He's injured again. Bro.
Oh, shit.
He's injured again. That's why he wasn't even on the bench. He's injured again. So that's the problem. I don't care if Broya was still there. I would have got another striker because Broya's coming back from a long-term knee injury. And Jackson's an lineup. He's not experienced. He shouldn't be doing it. And now you've got in this fan base going, it's okay because in January we'll buy whoever. And it's like, we shouldn't have to do that. We should have bought them in. We should have bought someone in the summer, not needing to buy someone in January. It's the whole point. You buy people in the summer, so you don't need to buy people in January unless you have a ridiculous injury list. And then you've got people going, it's okay. We're getting Cuckoo back and everything will be fine. I have no idea how Nkuku's going to adjust to this league whatsoever and where we're going to play him. So you can't book him when he comes back from a long-term knee injury. I mean, it's just a shambles. That's what it is. It's been a shambles for 5 years with forwards. Every single time we buy a forward, it doesn't work. I would just not. I'd eliminate the striker position altogether. We'd do better. Shouldn't, it's like I said, we should have gone with the same like we did last week and just try it. It's against Brentford. Do you know what I mean? Should have just beaten them.
Chelsea Perspective, who I just texted today, by the way, on Twitter. I actually wanted to get him on the channel today because I watched some of his videos and I liked how he talked about Chelsea.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very
Very
good.
good, and I wanted to get him on the channel. Thank you for the donation to the channel. Thank you for the super chat. He's just here to let Andrew know I hate him. Just kidding. It's all love. Listen, Andrew's one of the nicest guys. The problem is he supports Chelsea, and it's just darkness from that time. I want to actually add something about Chelsea. Thank you so much, Chelsea Perspective, for the support for the channel. Really appreciate your support for the channel and the super chat. Guys, before we move on, there's about 150 of you here, and we're just starting. So can we get the likes to 100 likes? It's simple. It doesn't cost you a penny. Also, everyone's channel is in the description, and it's not a link that you need to copy and paste. It's just a hyperlink. You have to click. It will take you to their channels. Give them a subscription. Come back. Like last video or 10 if you want. Of course, Armchair Gaffers, Casual EFC, and True Gunner TV, of course. Martin, soon he will be part of this channel, hopefully. So, guys, go give them a subscription. But first, hit that like button. Listen, I just want to say he started Madueke and Disasi on one side. That by itself is a sackable offense. As a right back, Madueke looked all right, hit the post. People will say, yeah, but he hit the post. Well, what else? Can someone explain?
Nothing else.
Why didn't Palmer play on the right side and you played with the same midfield? Even if you wanted to start as a striker, as Martin said, why didn't you start Jackson? Put Palmer on the right side, put Enzo, because you still were suspect to counterattacks for Wem Wessa all the time. I don't understand why Pochettino just wanted to change. I don't get it. I don't know what. I thought you turned the corner. This is this should be the easy game. You're facing Manchester City, Newcastle, I think so, if I'm not mistaken. Brighton, Spurs. So I think it's looking good. I thought you turned the corner, but today you looked back to the Chelsea that was aimless.
Yep.
In my opinion, nothing's really changed.
Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
Can I just add, when you say you thought Chelsea turned the corner, but he was factoring in the fact that Arsenal were just terrible last week. Yeah.
And prior to that, they beat Fulham and who was the other team?
Burnley and Fulham they beat, right? But we was dreadful last week. That had more to do with the fact that Chelsea got a draw out of us and should have probably won the game than what it was that Chelsea were excellent. And I've been saying that all week. And now you're seeing it because Chelsea.
I disagree with you, by the way.
I disagree. We made you look bad last week. It wasn't because you played bad. We made you.
Look, I don't disagree.
77 minutes. But then we collapsed after you scored. That's the thing. We collapsed after you scored. That's the thing. Any adversity, even winning last week, the adversity heads drop like that.
But
any adversity like that.
We did give you the goal. Like the actual problem is scoring goals.
But we gave you your first goal though. We gave you your first goal.
You could argue that Gallagher was just daydreaming while Rice ran around him and scored a goal. But he literally gave you a handball goal and a cross that the problem is getting the ball in the net at Chelsea. And
it's always been a problem.
Yeah.
It's always been a problem.
It's it's unsolvable crisis somehow. I don't even know.
The thing
so is, actually, I think I actually know the solution for that.
I do as well.
Apart from Burnley game, Chelsea only won the games and played well when they had less ball possession.
Yeah.
Do you guys know that?
Mm-hmm.
When they go and press other teams and there's no spaces for the likes of Sterling, Jackson, and Paul, and the rest of them, they can't put the ball in the back of the net. Apart from Burnley, who were absolutely... And by the way, Burnley by themselves is a high-line team. So Raheem Sterling had space to run into. And Raheem Sterling in that game was absolutely sensational because he had space. So but Chelsea today tried to suffocate with Brentford, and he didn't succeed. So he went back to the terrible problem. Is let's have 60. You had 68% ball position. Chelsea is the highest position-based team in the league, more than Man City. But they can't score goals. And today proved it. When you have the ball, you cannot score goals. That's it. So maybe you just have to sit back.
No. Yeah. And also I just think they love being underdogs, this team. Do you know what I mean? They love not being favoured. Do you know what I mean? They love it because it takes all the pressure off. Last week took all the pressure off, expected to win. Nah. Too much.
Sometimes, like we saw this at the start of Arteta's reign, where he realized that the team he had to play a back five and counterattack to win, and that's how we won the FA Cup. It's like you have to look at your squad and go, okay, maybe we can't play fully expansive, high press football and be, everything all at once immediately. And I think Ten Hag is realizing that a little bit as well at United. Spurs would be the outlier, but you might have to step your way into like rehabilitating this team rather than just hoping it clicks.
But the thing is,
Pochettino doesn't know how to do that. Big
and
problem. Pochettino doesn't know how to do what you said, Martin.
But also,
how to be defensive.
Yes, he doesn't know.
I don't know why. I've not seen any answer or any question in the press why he didn't start Gusto properly like that. Gusto, he didn't start Gusto. He started to sass it right back. We all thought when the lineup came out that Cucurella was going to play right back and he was putting Caldwell back at left back, which actually would have made more sense than actually playing to sass it right back before. So no one's asked him that. No one's asked him why Gusto didn't even come on. I know Reece James come on, still didn't look match fit. We were crossing into the box. No one was there. There's no point. That's when you'll run out of ideas. When you see teams crossing into the box constantly and no one's there at all. So I agree with Mo. I don't know why he changed it so much. I know some of them were forced on him, like Mudryk and Enzo and stuff like that. But he didn't have to make all these radical changes. And he's taken, like Lewis, he didn't just take a step back, he moonwalked backwards. He went forward and we moonwalked back.
It's one step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah, Brentford was the easiest, on paper, the easiest game in the running. Because you've got Spurs, City, Newcastle, Man United, Brighton as the next 5.
Guys,
it was the easiest one.
Guys, over 200 of you here. Just hit that like button for me. Give me 200 likes. There is a poll as well. Just make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're trying to build a community here. Support the channel. Get involved, of course, in the chat, of course, if you can, with super chats or even with questions. I'm going to try to catch your questions. Sorry, not this one. I mean this one, of course. To like the video, subscribe if you're new. Over 200 people here. Listen, my problem with Chelsea is that I still think you look all right.
What's that mean?
Yeah, that's fine. We do.
I'll tell you what I mean by that. They look like a team with a plan.
Certain bit.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense to me? Like from the beginning of the season, Jazz, maybe we didn't do streams after the season started. I was kind of an advocate, is like Chelsea still look better than Man United because I'm looking at them. There is a plan. The plan is working to one point, which is scoring the goals. The problem is the manager's job isn't to put the ball at the back of the net. The manager's job is to get you in the right place, and you as a player has to put the ball in the back of the net. But they aren't doing that. He tried everybody, and it's not working. When he clicked one game, they scored 4. When he clicked the other game, they scored 2 against Fulham, if I'm not mistaken. But when it doesn't click, it looks like it's a plan without a head. You know what I mean? A plan without an end game to it. That's what I explained, Jess. This is what I said.
How long have we been saying exactly the same thing? Pochettino had a quote today that was like, it was a carbon copy of what Potter would say or whatever. We did well. We tried hard. We got in the box. Like, it's just a...
It's an abbreviation of the lads. The lads gave their best. It was an abbreviation.
Yeah, exactly.
The lads gave their all. The second half, they did not give their all. They passed it sideways to sideways. And that was it. They barely had one. I think one where they got into the box and Palmer mishit it and it went to Washington. That was another thing. You bring on this Washington kid in his first game, just throw him in there like he's supposed to be a savior or something, and he's playing left wing. It's like, what are you doing?
Wait. Chelsea have a plan off the pitch. Their plan is to buy players of high talent for a young price and hold on to them and use them or sell them for make money. Like, there's a plan. As a business goes, it's the way you make money in the Premier League. But once it hits the field, the plan is get the ball into the box and then hope the rest figures itself out. And I'm not seeing any changes there. Like, everything changes, but everything stays the same. So, like, we can't just keep saying, well, it's not the manager's fault the ball's not going in the goal. Like, you've got to make that happen first in the most rudimentary way possible and then build from there. Like, if you're going to lump it in the box, you've got to have a big dude in there, like, ready to head it in.
Listen, the other thing I want to say about Chelsea, I don't know if you guys agree or not, the lack of experience. Like Raheem Sterling isn't a leader. From the midfield to the one up top, you have no experience on the team. Caicedo isn't a leader. Gallagher isn't a leader. He runs around, yes. Madueke is a young player. Jackson is young. He has 2 seasons of experience. Paul Palmer, before this, had 600 minutes of Premier League football before he played for Chelsea. People told me he has experience. Being around Manchester City doesn't mean you have experience because you didn't play.
They've got one leader in that team, and that's
Thiago
Thiago
Silva.
Silva. That's it, and that's why their defense
Looks
is
all
probably
right.
the best part of their team, and they don't concede many goals because they've got that leader in the back. You're right, Mo. In midfield,
When we talked
in
about
attack,
experience in adversity, you're 1-0 down today from what, a minute 60? If I'm not mistaken, 56, something like that.
Yeah. No, I think it's 50 odd, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. So who has the experience to pick the team up to score the goal? Nobody. Raheem
Right.
Sterling looked
Really?
down. Cole Palmer looked so like, I don't want to play in this team anymore. Jackson was disinterested. So I'm like,
But if you notice
even
the first half,
what's his name? Caicedo, when he was going out, he was like, why you're taking me out? I'm like, what kind of attitude? Like,
Yeah,
I'm not saying what is that? Yes, you out. You just get out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't. You saw it in the first half when Cole Palmer was telling Nick. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't be telling him where to run. You know what I mean? He's an older player.
Yeah, that's what
He
I
should
mean,
be. He should be running. But that's the problem in itself. You're absolutely right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a Thiago Silva or a Sterling in there. It's not enough when these guys have adversity. Do you know what I mean?
You need
You've seen it
experience.
last week. We said
That was Aubameyang. That was Lukaku a little bit. I'm serious.
Havertz.
That was Jorginho Havertz. Well,
Winners.
well, seriously. Instead of buying these young players, you could have invested 50, 60 million in an experienced forward that might get you over the line.
Yeah,
that's what you needed.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know.
Definitely.
Anyway.
But now we're gonna spend it all in January and everything will be fine. So it's all good. Yeah,
that's the reason why Chelsea won't progress, because, like you said, Mo, there is a plan. Okay, but I feel that as soon as they get close to where they need to be, we'll reach a transfer window, and Todd Bowley's going to get his checkbook out again, and there'll be 2, 3, or 4 more additions, and then they're back to square one, and then towards the end of the season they'll get better, and then season's over, another transfer window, more new players in. So I feel like Chelsea are stuck in an infinite Tsukuyomi where they're going to keep on like progressing slightly and then signing new players and starting from scratch, trying to integrate them, and so forth and so forth. And this is going to be the legacy of Todd Bowley.
Or it will get that bad that they'll sack their manager.
And then what? And then what?
And then we go again, we sign new players.
And what? It go round and round in circles. How many managers?
You know what? Chelsea were the most successful team in England for 20 years doing that. So
15 years. 15 years.
Yeah,
15
20
years.
from 2003.
2003?
The ingredient is Roman Abramovich. He was
Freaking
actually an
2005,
owner who knew what he was
2004.
doing.
They won the first league in 2004-5.
2005.
2004-5. So you can say from 2004. That's the start of the season.
Okay.
Right? 2004 all the way.
And last season they were terrible. That was 22-23.
So the season before they reached the quarterfinal of the Champions League, even though they were terrible, and they still made the Champions League, my man. So they were still until the year before last year.
So
they were all right. So
you
18
can't have
years.
any sustained success. You can have an instant success, but you can't have sustained success with that.
But it doesn't matter. So my point is, so here's my point. People say it's instant success and it's not sustainable. Who gives a fuck?
Okay, so
Who gives a fuck?
don't give me any
if you got ask Arsenal fans, would you rather win a league every 4 years and not be sustainable, or just dominate for 3 years and die for 20 years? They'll tell you no. Every 5 years,
you're asking the wrong
right.
club, though. Like, we have class. Like, we do things the right way around here. Like, it takes time.
You're the right way, my ass. You haven't won the league for 20 years. The right way, my ass. Stop this shit. The right way. I haven't won the league, reached one Champions League final since I was alive.
No, look, we were stuck in a situation where we had a manager who was a legend who we couldn't get rid of because he was a legend. So that can like knock you out of the game for a while. But we're back. We've got like, we're at the top ish. We've got more goals than Spurs, who are on fire. So I don't know. We're doing it right.
Yeah. Also, as well, I just want to say that we got to put things in context. So Chelsea, they beat Fulham, who are not a good team currently. Okay, they beat Burnley, who are an awful team. They drew with Arsenal, who are terrible. And I don't feel like Chelsea done the right thing to stop Arsenal scoring for most of the game, but it wasn't Arsenal's best performance. But we've got to put everything into context. Okay, we came into today's game expecting Chelsea to be something that they haven't been for the last 18 months. Okay, but if you actually look at the quality of the games, take the result out of it, take the W or the L out of it, and actually look at how they've played. It hasn't been great. They hold the ball, they keep the ball, but they do nothing against teams with low blocks. And this is the history of Mauricio Pochettino. It was like this at Tottenham. So we need to just really alter our expectations of this Chelsea team under Poch. I keep hearing that Poch is the guy to do this. What are we basing that on? Why do people
purely on Spurs? That's all it is. It's purely on Spurs. It's purely when Eriksen, Dele Alli, all that. The seasons leading up to the Champions League final. That's all it's based on. It's not based on PSG.
Yeah,
because PSG, it's just destroying it.
No,
didn't
it's
work.
based on many things. It's based on him developing young players, and Chelsea have young players.
Hold on. So who did Poch develop? I'm not saying he hasn't. I just want reminding.
Christian Eriksen, number one. Dele Alli.
In my opinion, so
can I finish or no?
No, I want to.
So you're gonna debate each one. Go ahead.
Very briefly. For me, Eriksen was already a player. Like I knew about him from the Ajax days.
A player, but he wasn't top notch.
Yeah, he wasn't top. Yeah.
Ajax, he was a good prospect.
Yeah, and I believe,
he elevated his level, right? Harry Kane as well. He elevated his level.
Dele Alli came from MK Dons. Harry Kane was not a player until Poch integrated him into the team.
Christian Eriksen was a good prospect at Ajax, but he wasn't. Christian Eriksen at some point was one of the best playmakers in the league.
That's three. Okay. I would debate Kyle Walker and I'll debate Eriksen because I believe
you can just. That's not our point.
No matter where he went, would have blossomed. No matter where, but in any decent club, Eriksen would have developed into the player that he became.
Well, this is just an assumption, though. See, this is an assumption.
You're
assuming that this will happen.
And if you look at assumptions, but we're saying that. So what you're saying technically is that Dele Alli, for example, only became the player he was because of Poch.
Not only. There is nothing only.
It's an assumption because I'm making an assumption.
Do you think Ronaldo would have been Ronaldo without Alex Ferguson? Maybe. Yes. Would never have known.
Yeah, that's my opinion. Based on how he is now. Go on.
Let me ask you this, right? So
me or Mo?
Yeah, you. Right, so we're talking about Ali. We're talking about Ali. We're talking about whether he, become the player that he was without Poch. Let me ask you this, right? Look at Raheem Sterling for an example. Does he look the same player at Chelsea to what he did at Man City? No. Why? Because he had Pep Guardiola. He had the system. The system is what made him. Same with Dele Alli at Tottenham. Like Dele Alli, since he's gone to Everton, since he's gone to Besiktas, okay, he's had loads of personal issues as well. But I'm not the same player no more.
I'm going to have to agree with you when you say about the system because I'm a big believer in the systems. And one of the things that made Dele Alli shine is the same thing that made Bruno Fernandes shine in his first 18 months is that he was getting so far forward. Like he was making those runs. Like in those years, I think it was 2016 to 2018. Like I had Dele Alli playing as for England in particular as one of the three forwards and getting beyond the striker. So I would say it's the system. I would say that obviously the manager is responsible for the system. But I still think that players like Eriksen, and I think you guys mentioned Kyle Walker, these are special players. For me, Kyle Walker is the best right back in Premier League history, but that's just my opinion. I think these are players who have blossomed regardless of where they were.
I think Poch helped. Poch definitely had an influence on these players. Obviously, Kyle Walker's gone even further with Pep because it's Pep, right? He's gone even further with Pep because it's Pep. He's only one of the greatest right backs in history in Premier League. Poch helped him obviously get the move to that. So it's you can see where he's had an influence on Dele Alli, on Harry Kane, especially. Like I said, they had Soldado up front or something before Harry Kane came in. So you can definitely see that. And Eriksen, you're right. Eriksen had that bit about him, but I think Poch greatly helped Eriksen to where he was, obviously before he moved
Someone in
into
the
Milan.
comments completely disagree with us. He's saying that Pochettino killed Christian Eriksen. Maybe. This is...
Poch did well with like a squad that like was not that impressive, right? And that's a very different situation to what Chelsea need right now, which was just someone which is going to take them to the very top echelon. Which Poch has never really like shown.
Exactly.
But that's not no. But that's the whole point. Poch is good at developing these people, these young players, and then maybe someone else will take over the line.
You mentioned 3 players. We can't keep saying that.
If we keep say Danny Rose, you're gonna argue with us. Just you're
Danny
gonna argue
Rose.
with us, whoever we say.
I
know you have a point.
Would Gareth Bale have been the player that he was without Poch?
Yes.
He wasn't there, was he? I think
Bale left.
I think he left. Yeah, he left the season before.
Gareth Bale left.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
I wasn't saying something.
But let me. Okay, I want to move on from Chelsea because at the end.
Yeah, please move on. Please move on.
No, I want the one question. What happens to Chelsea if they like finish 8th or 9th this year? What happens?
Another $1 billion.
For me, everyone's going to go. He spent $1 billion, but I've only predicted before the preseason because I don't have any faith in this team. If they were to be the next season, if they were to finish 8th again, then you'd have to question it even more. But for me, 8th would be a blessing because the way we're playing and the way we're built. Honestly, we are not good enough to get 5th because we're not consistent. We're not consistent enough. We could just
going off of what you said about
easily go the next we have. You'll probably see us play players we did against Arsenal, play very well. But you know what the game is after Brighton? It's Everton, like that, and you can see us losing to Everton. Do you know what I mean? It's games like that. So we are not good enough to be in the Champions League race. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot look unless you had a proper striker. If you had a striker, you can give them half a chance. But if you go full season with Jackson and Broja up there, it can't finish 5th unless the other teams collapse. Because it's not only 6. You've got to add Villa in there. You've got to add Newcastle now in there. You've got to add Brighton in there. That's 3 extra teams you've got to add in there as well. So I don't see 8th would be fine with me. 8th would be actually around where I thought we were going to finish. So.
Someone said in the comments, 8th will be. I quote the comment. 8th will be an achievement for you guys.
Yeah, facts.
It would.
This is weird, guys. Chelsea should finish 5th.
Known a football club.
No, we should be. We should be.
And their expectation be 8th place.
Have you ever known a club to spend £1 billion?
Have you ever known a club? Yeah, thank you, Jess. Have you ever known a club to spend £1 billion in 1 year? That never happened in football. That never happened in world football.
Didn't you predict a Chelsea
PSG didn't do that. That's why for the good of football, someone has to take the football club from Todd Bowley.
But the thing is this, every fan go, where are your standards? You can have standards, no problem. These players can't meet the standards I'm used to. That's the difference.
After that,
do you know what I mean? Money. I can't logically definitely going to challenge for Champions League spot after what I've seen today and previously.
With regards to the standards you're used to, and with all due respect, you were a Chelsea fan before 2004, so you're just going back to where you were, in my opinion, back to where you belong. Man. No, we're about the same age, so I'm not calling him old. I'm just saying, like,
less of the old.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, like, when we talk about like what you're used to,
the experience. That's what it is.
Yeah. So, like, I think you guys going back to 8 is just like the natural.
The standards in the league for this club haven't been met since 2017, since we last won the title. So the standards haven't been met since then.
At least it's not 2004. So.
Oh, very funny.
Maybe the same tricks aren't working that used to work.
But anyway, listen, guys. Listen, I want to move on to Arsenal. There is 300 people here. Can we get to 150 likes? It's 300 people here. I think this is a record for the channel that started 3 weeks ago. So can we get the like button, people, up? Can we get the like button up for this free entertainment? It's not going to cost you a penny. If you want to support the channel, send the super chat or also become a member so you can become on the panel with us sometime. Just hit that like button. Hit that like button. I don't know why I'm cheeky. I'm not cheeky. Moving on to Arsenal.
Yeah, it's that age comment. That's why you're cheeky. All right, it's the age coming.
Uh,
You said old. Yeah, that's
listen,
right.
I'm the oldest guy here on the panel, 100%. I'm proud of my age.
How old are you, Mo? How old are you,
30,
Mo?
38,
How old are
being
you?
39 next month.
Oh wow!
I'm older than
Damn.
Mo.
That's the
Ah,
same age.
Martin is older than me.
Yeah.
I'm not shy to say my age. I'm
God
good,
damn.
bro. I play.
I'm that age next month, Mo. So it's all good. 39. So.
Declan Rice. Listen, I want to start one place. To be honest, forget the five. Forget. We're gonna come to Eddie Nketiah. You know, when I was watching Arsenal today, I know that you're playing Sheffield United. They were playing Brentford. Two atrocious teams. Probably Brentford are better. Do you know all I can think of? Wallahi, I swear, is that I was watching Caicedo playing the DM role, and I'm watching Declan Rice, and I'm like, they really got the better guy. Like, without a doubt, they got the better DM. Even though Caicedo looked okay last season, looked great last season at Brighton, Declan Rice can change that midfield with Arsenal, because who started next to him today? That's what I was looking at. It's Declan Rice,
Yes, Aaron Havertz.
Smith Rowe, and Kai Havertz. And he led them and made them look okay.
What's the difference, Mo?
Odegaard is not there, but yeah, but
No.
not,
What's the difference
I don't
between
know.
Declan Rice and Caicedo?
One's black.
Leadership.
What the actual fuck?
Okay, there's a few more differences than those. Like, actually, like I will admit that I was a Caicedo fan.
genuinely, leadership. Leadership is the difference.
Yeah. Caicedo is not. I'm not. Winter Surfer. I want someone that goes to Stamford Bridge regularly to tell me, does Caicedo talk a lot? Because I think Declan Rice doesn't stop talking. He doesn't stop telling people what to do. He doesn't stop giving instructions. That's a leader. But to be honest, I never thought that I would sit after only 2 months or 2.5 months in the season and say that Declan Rice is a much better buy than Caicedo. Much better. I never thought I would say that, and I admit I never said that.
I didn't think Rice was everything that his price tag was when we were going to buy him, but now defensively he has shown that he is on par with anyone else in the DM space as far as being able to cut out the ball, turnover possession. But offensively, we're paying a little bit of a price because he's not quite Thomas Partey going forward.
But that's
Okay.
not
He's working on it. He's working
You're
on it.
100% right. But the thing is, we need to understand that this is Declan Rice. He's played, 15 games for Arsenal, 10 in the league. And if you look at where he started, and let's just hope he gets even a bit better. We've got a £200 million player on our hands. I can't believe that this man actually plays for
What? You
Arsenal.
got a 200 million player on your hands?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion, like,
Don't doubt these transfer fees.
By the way,
Don't
I
doubt.
said Declan Rice is better than Caicedo. I didn't say he's the best in the league.
I'm not saying he's the best in the league, but
Right.
I can't believe
No,
how
he's
good
not.
he's been.
Not Rodri.
When we
He's not
signed
Rodri,
him,
He's
yeah.
not
When-
even Bissouma for me.
When Arsenal signed Declan Rice, I said, cool, we basically just signed Gareth Barry, the 2023 version of Gareth Barry, and I haven't been this wrong for a very long time. I cannot believe what I'm seeing week in, week
I don't
out.
think you see. You're the set. Gareth. That's probably a bit of a. That Gareth Barry's a very underappreciated player.
No, he's a good player.
Very-
But would you ever
Yeah,
pay £100 million
yeah.
for Gareth Barry?
I wouldn't pay £100 million now for a defensive midfielder, but let alone back then. So
Wouldn't you want Rice for 100 mil right now at Chelsea?
I don't know if it would make a difference with my team.
I wouldn't make that much of a difference.
It wouldn't make any difference whatsoever. Declan Rice would give it to who?
A leader would just, I don't know, give something to rally around.
Listen, Declan Rice is. Listen, we all know the thing. If Declan Rice wasn't English, he'd be rated highly more than these fans in this country. He's settled in very well at Arsenal. He is a leader. It helps. He's been captain of West Ham since Mark Noble retired. Well, even when Mark Noble was there, he was captain. He won a trophy as captain. He led his hometown club as left there with the trophy. Left there and good thing. He's a very, very good player. He needs to figure out what he's going to be at this moment in time, whether he's going to stay as a 6 or if he's trying to progress his game forward, because he can do it at times, but I think he's better as a 6 myself. in that
Declan Rice had an interview recently. I only saw it today, and it was asked like, what's the biggest challenge of coming to Arsenal? He said one of them is living up to this £100 million price tag, and I was like, he's actually acknowledging it and saying it out loud. So we've got to put this into context. Okay, so he's coming to a really big club, like that's already quite daunting, and then he's got this price tag. People telling him that he's not worth this money. Like you got lunatics calling him Gareth Barry. Yeah, like it's
I've never heard that. You're the first person I've heard call him Gareth Barry.
That's why I said lunatics. I'm talking about myself.
I know, but even in Twitter and Spaces, I've never heard Gareth Barry compared to Declan Rice. You're the first.
What I meant was what, you know. Actually, on the side note, I actually said that once I saw Declan Rice play for Arsenal, I said that he could have the same impact on Arsenal that Michael Carrick had on Manchester United, and I was laughed at. In fact, they might have even been on Neville's foul.
That's a big.
Yeah, and I was laughed at. But I said this early, and now looking at it, it doesn't seem so crazy. If you actually look at what he's done so far, and in terms of his development, I feel like once he's settled in the team, once he's 3 years into his Arsenal team, talking about his next contract, okay, it's going to be a completely different Declan Rice. We've actually got someone now you can build around. And I think the sky's the limit.
Okay, we need to admit it's a different structure because everyone's been saying that Arsenal hasn't been fluid. And I think a lot of that is down to Declan Rice versus Thomas Partey in the six, because Partey under press is able to get us going forward 100% of the time, right? Like, okay, he stuffed up once, and I think West Ham scored a goal, and it was actually Rice, which is kind of ironic, but that was what he brings to bringing Odegaard into the game, and Saka on that right-hand side hasn't been the same without Partey running that show, right?
And Xhaka.
And Xhaka was more left side, but yeah, I'll give it that. Like, I think that there's issues there which we're trying to resolve, but Partey not being available means we've just got to move on, looking forward, life without Partey. And Rice is doing a very, unbelievable job. He's had like 5 man of the match performances out of 8 or 9 that I can remember. So, it's impossible to complain about him. He's just a one-man machine.
Yeah.
And when we're ready to collapse, he's the guy that's showing up on the line, heading the ball off the line, which was what Xhaka brought to us, which was what, people didn't rate him for, was showing up when we needed someone.
Do you guys next season give him the captain's armband?
No, it's
100.
Not this season, but next season.
No. We can't. As long as Odegaard's there, we can't. Because I'm not a fan of stripping players of the captaincy.
But you need to. I just think if you take the pressure of captaincy off Odegaard, it might even change him better as well. But if you give it to Rice, we've already seen him with captaincy, how he is built for being a captain.
A lot of these types, like Arteta, they have what they call a leadership group. Yeah,
I know. I've seen. They explained last season.
Yeah. So obviously, like one man wears the armband, but amongst
it's
players,
a token.
They know, like it's a bit like Captain Phillips, look at me vibes. So I feel like he doesn't need to be given the armband per se for people to know that this guy over here,
which is what Xhaka did for us. Even though he wasn't captain, he would just be the guy that like kept everyone doing their jobs and
exactly.
I'm checking your timesheets, brother.
But here is my problem.
Brandon Wood, right?
Here is what problem with what Martin said. I'm just gonna raise some points, and you guys just can. Here's my problem: having Thomas Partey and Declan Rice on the same pitch with Odegaard is too defensive. You'll need one of them to contribute offensively, and Declan Rice is a good 6. He's a very good 6. Is he better than Thomas Partey? Probably, just because of availability, and he's very consistent. Let me finish just. And I'm not a big fan of a player when he's playing well. Let's say he's playing an 8 out of 10 in every game in the defensive midfielder, and he's going to give you a 6 or a 7 on the 8, right? But because Thomas Partey is going to come back for some games and play that, you take away from Declan Rice, because Declan Rice has to go to an 8, then come back to be a 6 when Thomas Partey gets injured. I'm not a big fan of that, and I think Declan Rice is an 8. He isn't that player. I think he should be molded to be your future 6 for the next 10 years or 6-7 years. You know what I mean? And instead of just putting Partey there and try to get Rice to play the 8, you lose offensive abilities. And now, we're not scoring goals. We're not creative enough. Let's remove Rice back and Partey get. I don't think that should work.
I think
It should
Partey's
be-
not there next
I
season.
don't think you're going to see that anyway.
Yeah,
I don't think you're
he's
going to see
gone.
that. I don't
Partey's
think
going to
Partey's-
come back, and Jess said when Partey comes back,
No,
he
no,
should
no,
play.
no,
Didn't
no.
he say that?
No, I don't think Partey's going to come back. I think
Yeah.
Partey's gone in January. At the end of the day,
Oh.
right? In the summer, there was talk of Partey leaving Arsenal anyway, and Declan Rice was coming in to
Saudi.
be his replacement. The way that Thomas Partey is always consistently out injured as well, big injuries, he can't be relied upon. And I think Mikel Arteta knows that. And it's time to move on from Thomas Partey. And what we're actually lacking is an 8. So Declan Rice is having to do the 8 role at the moment because we haven't got anybody who can do that role. Or
I would disagree because I think that it's not that Rice isn't a traditional 8, but Xhaka wasn't a traditional 8. And I think that what we're trying to do is bring our forward line right up to the edge of their, our defensive line right up to the edge of their box. And if that means that Rice is winning the ball back 20 meters higher than he would be if he was a 6, I'm completely fine with that because all he does is just pick it up and recycle it anyway. So we're not really talking about a normal box to box because Arsenal just play with like a suffocating style where we need to contain them. And the further forward Rice is as an 8, I am completely fine with that, especially if he can bring goals and assists, which is what he's doing almost effortlessly so far.
I was thinking a few weeks back that right now I prefer Declan Rice to Partey in that 6 role. I know it sounds crazy, okay, because I think if you look at Partey's top level, like what he can do is phenomenal. He's the only person I've seen more press resistance than Thomas Partey is the Sergio Busquets. Obviously, it's a different level of press resistance completely, but I would experiment if I was Arteta in playing Rice as a 6, and it might sound crazy, guys, just a thought, and Partey as an 8 because I believe he's got the experience, having played way more games than Rice.
You're shoehorning players.
Let me ask you-
You're shoehorning players.
No,
You're
that's
really
exactly what I'm doing.
shoehorning players.
Because I
Let me
want
give
them
you
both on
another-
the team.
Yes, exactly. So you're
Yes,
shoehorning them.
Yes, I am.
That's strong in football. I think that's strong in football.
Let me
You're
give you
wrong
a
in
different
football.
When
solution.
you've got a
Let me
good
give you-
system, it doesn't matter, mate.
Let me give you a different solution, right? Because me and Mo discussed this last week. Why not Zinchenko in the 8?
Thank you.
I'll tell you why.
Everybody.
I'll tell you why.
Thank you, everybody.
I'll tell you why. Okay, so Zinchenko gets on the ball quite a lot in that midfield area, yeah, and so we're thinking, yeah, let's just leave him there. But someone that's actually played football at a very decent level for a very long time, it's very different.
When
Popping up in
everybody comes to
areas,
this channel says the same, but yeah, go ahead.
it's very different popping up in areas than it is actually being stationed in that area. So it's like, for example, you may see like a right back or a full back who believes they're a winger, for example, yeah, because they're always getting forward, getting balls in, okay? And then you put them on the wing and they're terrible. It's because it's different things you've got to do. Being out wide, receiving the ball out wide in a winger position is different to overlapping and getting the ball as a winger. So Zinchenko playing as an 8 and just being there instead of drifting into there unannounced and unexpected won't be the same. So that's the reason why we don't play Zinchenko there. And I know the caveat to this is that he's actually a midfielder. He was a midfielder.
Oh, you were just complaining about shoehorning players, and now you're talking about being down with Zinchenko going at left 8. Like,
because he's been doing it. No. I
agree with you, Jess. I agree with you, Jess.
Hang on. How's that shoehorning? We just hang on. We just said
Zinchenko is our left back. Like, there's no need to change that.
He's not anymore.
Hang on.
I don't
he
think he
is.
is anymore.
We just said.
Tomiyasu was right back.
We just said. Where does Zinchenko play when he plays for his country? Midfield, right?
He plays
if you
as a
watch,
10. Like,
if you watch Zinchenko today, yeah, if you watch the game back today, Eddie Nketiah was a big part of this, by the way, because his runs that he was making today was phenomenal, right? And he was opening up space for other players to get into. But at times, Zinchenko was the furthest man forward, and he was coming from that left back position. And I understand what my man's saying because he's got a free role, so he's harder to pick up when he's playing left back, inverting into the midfield. Yes. But there's no reason why he can't play that midfield role. There's no reason why he can't play that attacking 8 role. You play Tomiyasu at left back, who does the inverting thing as well anyway, but he's more defensively solid. I think we've got an in-house solution to this, but I don't know why Arteta hasn't.
I don't see a problem.
Sorry. I need to add something to this, and I need to do some check. One of the things I wanted to add is actually Zinchenko, when he plays for Arsenal and he played for Manchester City, he actually was a left back. He's always advanced to that left side, playing a left 8. He was never a traditional left back that run down the line, does overlap. So screw that. Put him in the midfield already. Let him do the job that he does for Ukraine.
But see, our midfield becomes part of the attack, and we don't want Zinchenko like roaming into the box.
He's
we want
very
him
good in
back.
the attack.
Yeah, but we want him like making the passes, making the plays through the midfield, because this is how we get into their box. We have to play through the press. If he's further forward, maybe the ball never gets to him. Maybe we don't actually get to that stage.
That's it.
Let me do. Can I do the super chat first? Hybrid Ultra 13 said if the club has anything about them, they get rid in January and bring in a competent 8 or 6 Zubamendi. In my opinion, Rice helps us control games better. He isn't aggressive as Thomas Partey, of course, with his passes. Zenny, first phase player, like he thinks that Zenny should be just a left back. Then thank you for the support. So, do you guys think that you should go big in January? Okay, so this is what I said. Do you guys should? Well, you just shake your head. Stop shaking your head. Just let me finish. I think if you hang in until January and you get a proper left central midfielder that can do both aspects of the game, your starting 11 is complete, 100% complete. Why no? Give it to me. Why no?
Anybody we buy in January will only be a bit part player. I'm not saying we don't need that position filled. We do. You wait until the summer and go and buy someone mental like a Frankie de Jong.
You need an 8.
You see, here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. Hang on. Here's the problem. You need to do what you didn't do last January and buy quality to help you if you're in a league title run. That's what you didn't do in January.
We did.
You bought Jorginho. You bought Jorginho. Who else did you? I can't remember who else you bought. You didn't strike. You didn't strike where the iron was hot, and that's the difference. Okay.
Yeah, because you stole the players. We wanted to get Mudryk and Caicedo.
Right, but if you want a striker and Tony's up, you have to buy Ivan to still in the title race.
100%.
No, they need a left 8 to be in the title race. They don't need a striker.
Yes, we do.
You do need a striker.
You have Gabriel Jesus. He has a hamstring energy. He'll be back in 3 weeks.
Mo, stop with this agenda, please.
This is a Mojenda episode.
I swear it's not.
Mo, stop with this agenda. Yeah, you're saying we don't need a striker.
No, you don't.
Did Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus win Arsenal the league last season? No, they are not good enough.
We not score
Do you
enough
think
goals?
if you had a striker last year, he would have won the freaking league? Saliba got injured, my friend, and you lost the freaking league because Saliba got injured and you had Rob Holding. It's as simple as that.
And Tommy
Yeah,
Asu.
but the point being is, do you think Odegaard's going to score 15 goals this season? Do you think Martinelli's going to score 15 goals this season? Saka, 16, 17 last season. Do you know what I mean? It's all about, can we consistently score goals and share them around the pitch? I don't know. All it takes is for one of them players to have a poor season, and all of a sudden, our goals dry up a little.
They're picking up more knocks now as well.
I'm not. By the way, I don't like. The only way you get a striker is that if you get rid of Nketiah. Tony Bloom, left center mid for Ukraine and Arsenal are 2 different rules. I see his point.
Tony Bloom, I respect you. See, this is a man who knows what he's talking about. Believe me, it's not the same thing.
Nobody said it. It's a different thing to play 6 for England than 6 for Arsenal. It's a different thing to play centre back for Arsenal than France. We can all say that, guys.
It's different.
But a player can do the job. Just give me a break.
No, don't you think there's a case that we're inventing a crisis here? Because we've got the second most goals scored in the league, right? I think we're even above Tottenham, who are having the best season on record, right? Our left centre mid is not a huge issue. Our striker is not a huge issue. If we get Tony, I'm not going to say no to that. Like, of course, throw in some more people. We've already got a very strong front line that's rotating pretty well, and we're winning. We haven't lost a game in the Premier League. So I don't see it. I think we just have a tendency to like latch onto things that we have to do. And hey, that's lovely to sign players. Chelsea, they know that high of buying someone every 5 minutes, but sometimes you just got to make what you have work for you, so that, like what Jess says, when it comes to the summer, you can actually get that real level raiser rather than just buying like
Jorginho's. Buying Jorginho's and Nketiah's and Trossard. I love him.
So you're saying you telling me that Ivan Toney's not a level raiser?
Okay, so
no, I'm not saying that.
I'm saying I'm saying these are just my thoughts, guys. Bearing in mind, I'm not a football expert, okay? Like, so just hear me out. Me personally, I don't think Ivan Toney raises the level at Arsenal. These are my thoughts. Please let me speak, because before I came here, Mo promised me I'll be allowed to speak. Okay, I have the right to freedom of speech. Mo, you promised me this, Mo. So make sure these people let me
speak. Come on, because I want to understand this. Because I go on.
Yeah, I
So,
disagree.
so Tony's better than Nketiah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think last season, I think he got 3 more non-penalty goals than Gabriel Jesus, having played 3 months longer. Yeah, for me, that doesn't scream of someone that's way better. Chelsea guy, give me a moment, please. Yeah,
He's in a way worse side.
Yeah, fair enough. That's true. But I don't think, okay, if Tony is better than Jesus, if he is, okay, he's not that much better. I can't even say he's better than Jesus. Okay, he's more of an out and out striker, yes. But I don't think he raises the level to the level that we need. If there's any one striker in the Premier League that we should get, yeah, for me, it'll be Ollie Watkins above Ivan Toney. In my opinion.
Nketiah has the same number of goals as Watkins, but like I would say that Ivan Toney is a completely different option to what we have in Jesus.
Yes,
So,
you're right, Martin. But it's Ivan Toney. So you have the front three is Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, and and what's his name, and Saka. Tony comes in. Who does he bench right away?
Jesus.
maybe play Jesus for like a winger and put Tony. I want to see the two of them together because
That's what I asked Brandon this last week. I said,
Right.
Ivan Toney is a plus to every club in the world, including Real Madrid. And I'm telling you this, right? Ivan Toney is a brilliant player. He adds to any squad. But does he add to every 11? That's the question that Arsenal should ask. When you are buying, you should add to, because when you're missing one in your 11, right? Brandon, are you missing a position in your 11 at the moment? Are you? Or are you
Yes.
not? Which position?
Left centre midfield.
Thank you so much.
Hey.
So instead of addressing the position that is missing from your starting 11, you want to address a position to have another option off the bench with Ivan Toney, who's a brilliant player. I'm not arguing you, right? But instead of spending that money, maybe you address the starting 11 first.
Well,
That's
when it
the
comes down to
logic,
you need
Brandon.
to win a goal. We need to win a game. You need that
See?
goal from nowhere.
Okay, but
and
if
your
you're not
left
gonna
in the
get-
mid is not going to get you that goal from nowhere.
You know
like
what? You have a wall. You have a wall that is not built inside your house. You have a wall. You're exposed to the street.
No. We need.
And instead of fixing that wall, you're going to fix a room inside.
Let me ask you a
You're still
question.
exposed to the
In
street.
reality, we actually need 3 players, believe it or not. I don't think we get 3 players in January. I think we need 3. We need cover for Bukayo Saka.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
We need a striker and we need a left centre midfield who can do that 8 role. That's what we need. And then it's all about which one's the most important one. I don't know. You know, striker, is that important? Based off of the goals that
What's
are
the most
Which
important
one can you get by with?
Guys,
Yeah.
Arsenal fans
Yeah.
here and would want to. In the chat, people, let me know. There's over 300 of you here. What is the main position? If you got to choose one position in this January transfer window,
Goalkeeper.
which one would you choose for your club to sign? Arsenal Football Club. Nice
3
answer.
number ones? Are you kidding me?
just a goalkeeper.
Another goalkeeper.
Fuck it, why
I
not?
am serious. Which one would you choose? Martin, start with you.
Tony.
You have one player in
Kubo.
January to do. One player, one
One of
position.
those-
Left 8 or a striker?
Tony.
Brandon,
Oh,
think about it well, Brandon, before you answer.
this is
We've got
Brandon,
Chiesa.
it's not that tricky. It's not an exam. You're not going to fail.
It is because it's very dependent on Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey leaves, regardless, we need an 8, right? But if Thomas Partey leaves, that makes that position even more of an emergency to address. I look at him and think, okay, if you're not going to get a striker, you can at least get a winger who can score goals. My ideal solution would be Pedro Neto, but obviously he's picked up an injury
I think
as well.
it's done now.
I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. But for me, I try to explain it as simple as I can. Your house is exposed. You need to fill. The number one thing is to fill your starting 11, not to add depth. You have a hole in your starting. Your manager is trying everybody in the world to try that left center mid, and he has not succeeded. He hasn't.
Mo, we
No,
have
I
to
think-
evolve. We can't
I
just
ask
play the
this though,
same
mate?
11 that we played last year. It ran out on us.
You
Can I ask you-
evolve.
Part of the
Your
process.
team was fantastic last year. You evolve in terms of positions on the pitch.
Yeah,
Mate,
we
You get a
great
better
wins
player.
last year too.
So, can I
Everyone's
ask you
saying
this,
we were
though?
really great last year,
Can
but
I-
we had
can I
weak
ask you
games.
this?
We
Go
struggled.
ahead, but can I do the super chat before you do so? I respect
Yeah,
the guy.
perfect,
Hybrid
perfect.
Ultra saying Ivan, I think he means Ivan Tony, is a floor raiser, not a ceiling raiser. Someone explain that to me. Bring
It's
in
meant to be floor.
Zubamendi.
It's meant to be floor, not floor. He wrote the wrong floor.
Raises the minimum.
So, but you know, like the thing we stand on, like the ground, the floor.
Is a
So-
floor raiser, not a
Yeah.
ceiling raiser.
So
Okay.
basically, he raises the bottom line, but not our potential.
Okay. Bring in Zubamendi and Neto type winger in January. Believe me, you do not get an 8. Everything is irrelevant.
Can I
You
speak,
don't
Mo?
get an 8.
Can I speak?
Yeah,
Let
you
me
can
ask-
answer him. He's a Arsenal
Let me
fan.
ask you this first. Let me ask
Go
you
on.
this, right? Do you not think Emil Smith Rowe can do that 8 wrong?
Exactly what I was gonna say. That was my thing. I was gonna say. I was
Bear in
gonna say.
mind that he played today, right? He played today. He weren't great today, but he hasn't played many minutes for Arsenal. I think if he gets consistent run of games, I think we start to see a better Emil Smith Rowe again.
We also
I
have
think Ivan Tony can do what Jesus does, and he's a better finisher. I've seen Ivan Tony do what Jesus does. You look at one game last season away at Anfield, he didn't even score by himself. Okay, Ivan Tony, that shot that Jesus had against Spurs this season when he blasted it over, Ivan Tony buries that. He
Yeah, but does
buries
Ivan
that.
Tony get 13 Champions League goals in 14 matches or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
he
Let's see.
should
Let's
do
play him in
this.
the Champions League.
No, I've got to go,
Play him
bro.
in the Champions
I've
League.
got to
Yeah, I'm telling
Yeah, me
Staffy
too.
5
I've
minutes
got-
and then 5
Yeah.
minutes and then you start. So I'm telling Staffy.
Okay, cool.
Guys,
I
stay
agree
on
with
this
the
video. It will take you to Staffy. Let me just get the super chat because Staffy, I know Brandon and Winter Surfer, they have to go to Staffy, and we're gonna end the video. I'm gonna let them go, and then we're gonna go for 5 minutes, and then we'll finish. Tevin Thomas is saying, unless Arteta thinks we can get the 8 from within the club, Thomas, it's definitely the 8. If he's going to look at our club, it's got to be a striker. I'm not getting this. If he's got to go within the club, it's definitely the 8. If he's going to look at our club, it's got to be the striker. Maybe he's looking at Patino.
No.
Yep.
Charlie Patino, yeah.
Yep.
That's
Patino.
who's Patino.
He's a player.
A youth
He's on
product,
loan.
a youth player.
A Patino returning as well. We do not know. I'm not. Can someone? Thank you, Tevin. Can someone?
So unless
Yes,
Arteta thinks we can
basically
get
what
an
he's
8,
saying is, unless Arteta thinks we can get the 8 as a in-house solution, then we should go and get an 8 in January. But Arteta might be looking at the fact that we got Charlie Patino out on loan, and he might be our long-term solution.
Can I just suggest that also another solution is that every game requires a different left 8. And sometimes that's going to be Rice, and sometimes
A
that might
rotated
be
position.
Piero or
Rotated.
ESR or Havertz or Trossard. But I don't think it's a crisis that we need to solve. It hasn't proved a weakness for us. And even Zinchenko, I think his defensive frailties are overstated. A lot of our players are overhated and overstated problems. So I'm putting it in that category.
This is the comment. If Arsenal, Emil Smith Rowe is not an 8, I believe he is kind of an 8. We need a Gundu type player. That's what I said. If Arsenal were serious, they would have got to Gundogan or similar type Gundogan.
Who is other than Ilkay Gundogan? Who's the Gundogan type player?
Goretzka.
Leon, okay.
Goretzka. And he wanted out. Well, he's not maybe Gundogan level, Martin. Don't do that. He is a very good 8.
He's a destroyer. Gundogan's not a destroyer. Gundogan's
Goretzka scores goals. Come on, don't do that.
Clutch. Maybe a Muller. I don't know, someone who scores clutch
Muller is
goals.
very high. Is higher on the pitch. Kevin is saying,
he's that false
clarify,
9,
if the 8 is in the club, go buy a striker. If not, go buy 8. Thank you for the clarification. Here we go. It's simple. If you don't have the solution within, buy an 8. Thank you.
I didn't answer your question about who.
But the hybrid ultra is spot on. Spot on. You needed a Gundogan type of player. A leader. Go ahead.
You said who should Arsenal sign in January? One position.
If you have one position.
For me, it'll be a right-footed right winger. like we was supposedly looking at Yeremy Pino last year. I want a right-sided, right-footed player to give Saka a rest. I think everything else is fine. So
Kubo.
basically, Kubo,
What's going on?
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Instead of addressing what you need, you're gonna get a backup player.
Oh, and I need to
What
explain.
is going on? What's
No.
wrong with?
So
What's
let
wrong?
me explain.
I take you
man.
as a logical thinking person since I knew you.
Let me explain. Instead of talking over me.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't oppress me,
Go ahead.
Mo.
Go ahead.
Okay. So obviously I'm just happy to just be supporting the best club in London. Okay. And I think things are just, like, let's just put things into perspective. No one thought we would be here being spoken of as title challengers, pushing Man City. Like, what's that look, Mo?
You
Yeah,
are
Mo.
the title challenger
Yeah,
this year.
exactly.
What are you
And-
talking about?
Yeah, what the hell?
Everyone
I
said we'd
know.
struggle.
I said no one thought, 3 years ago, no one thought that would be here today. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say that. You just said, yeah,
No
you
one
meant
thought.
like now. We thought you meant like now. Yeah.
No,
No, but
obviously
even at the end
after,
of last season, they said it was a flash in the pan. We were going to struggle this
yeah.
season. We weren't gonna
As a
build
whole,
a
if you look at our last few years, no one thought Arsenal would be here. Okay, I think it was only 2 years ago. After 3 games, we were battling relegation with Norwich. Remember, there was a relegation playoff after the 5th game of the season. So I look at the club and I'm happy. I want to win trophies. If we don't, I'm a little bit sad, but nonetheless, I'm just happy to be here. And I think one thing, because there are many games when Saka isn't at it. Okay, that's because he plays every single minute of every game near enough. Yeah, for me, I think the front line's fine, midfield's fine, defense's fine, goalkeeper's fine. If anything, I would sign someone to give Saka a kick up the arse. I remember when we had Matthew Debussy playing right back and he got injured and Hector Bellerin came in and Debussy got fit again and Bellerin was playing so well because he knew if he slips up, Debussy's back in the team. Saka hasn't got that. Okay, and I think that's what he needs to take him from star boy to star man. So I'd get another right-sided, right-footed
Okay.
winner.
Listen, people, I think we're going to end it here. We're going to wrap it up. So people stay on this stream. It's going to take you to Safi. Thank you for everybody that sent us super chats, of course, to support the channel. Chelsea Perspective, Hybrid Ultra, Tony Bloom, Tevin, of course, and Hybrid Ultra, Tevin again. Thank you for the support. Thank you for getting involved in the conversation. Get us to 200 likes before you go. Make sure to follow the guys through Gunner TV in the description, Casually FC, and of course, Armchair Gaffers. Guys, it's simple. It's in the description. You click on it. It takes you there. You don't have to copy or paste. Stay on the stream. It will take you to Staffy. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Martin. Brandon, appreciate it. Thank you, Winter Surfer. And good luck next time, Winter Surfer. We'll see you guys.